felt like every song that you make just becomes another version of yourself? I did. And the way I broke free wasn't by quitting anything. I didn't quit any of my music projects. I just made them better. I built a ghost band. As artists, we spend years chasing a sound that feels like our own. But once we find it, something unexpected can happen. We sometimes can start repeating it. It can become too safe. And that's where I found myself several times in my career as a musician. I loved the music I was making, but I could feel that the patterns were kind of closing in sometimes. And then I remembered something from my childhood. When I was a kid at Halloween, I once wore a gorilla costume. Nobody knew who I was under that mask, and it gave me a strange kind of power. I could act wild and ridiculous because nobody could say, "That's Kevin." And that's when I realized I could do the same thing with music. What if I created a band that had its own identity and no connection to my name? A band that could sound like anything and explore without any limits. And so I did it. I partnered with another musician who understood the idea completely, and we built something brand new. A secret band with songs on streaming platforms that nobody would ever know was me. And the music feels alive and weird and unpredictable. A ghost band gives you permission to explore without judging yourself. It isn't about hiding. It's about showing a different side of yourself in a place where nothing is really at stake. A ghost band becomes a mirror inside a mask. It lets you see who you are by pretending to be someone else. Now, this wasn't the first time that I felt I wanted to expand beyond my own sound. Years ago, I was a drummer in a band that meant everything to me. We toured all over the country and played in front of crowds, and we made recordings that I was super proud of. But after a while, I realized I couldn't explore the other creative directions that I had within me, at least not within that band. And the band had its own unique sound, even though the music was wild and creative, and I loved it. So I started a quiet solo project, a side project. I never promoted it, I never performed it. It was literally just for me. And that simple decision ended up teaching me one of the most important lessons of my career, which is that sometimes growth happens sideways instead of forward. Growth can feel less like a restart and more like discovering a hidden room in your own house. And decades later, when one of my closest collaborators was feeling burned out, I remembered that moment. And I suggested that we make something with no plan to release it, and we called it The Swamp. It wasn't even a song, it was more like a soundscape full of natural noises and strange textures. It was strange, but it was totally freeing too. That experiment cleared out our creative fog, and not long after that, we wrote some of our best songs ever. And we continue to this day to create music that I find amazing and inspiring. And sometimes we talk about doing another quiet experiment, intentionally making something that nobody's ever going to hear. It's just such a great way to explore and push your own boundaries. So fast forward to last year, I absolutely loved what I was creating, but I also wanted to keep finding new artistic outlets. That was when my ghost band was born. I started working with a collaborator whose process was just completely different from my own. We built music that pushed both of us to rethink how we write and produce. And I'm not going to share the band's name, but if you know my catalog, you might guess it. And that project isn't a joke or a side act. It is serious music, and it's pure art. It just doesn't carry the weight and pressure of recognition that comes with promotion in my own name. The goal isn't to become popular or to get streams. The goal is only to explore and invent with complete artistic freedom. Every time we release a track as a ghost band, I think, as myself, I would never write this, but as a ghost band, we just did. And of course, that's some of the same reason I love collaborations so much. I think of my longtime collaboration with my good friend Jonathan Andrew Ryston. In our music, he and I give each other lots of freedom, and we create music that I would never come up with on my own. And it always inspires me. I hope you're going to give this music a listen too, so I'll share it in the description of this video. If you've ever felt stuck inside your own sound, try making a ghost band. Give it a name, write one song, and don't worry about what anyone's going to think. Just create. Here's a few things that helps me. First, find a collaborator who understands your vision, and make sure you both agree that the goal is freedom and not numbers. And forget schedules or algorithms, just let the music breathe. Don't focus on streams or followers. That's not what the project is for. And remember, This isn't about deception, it's really just a place for discovery. A ghost band can remind you why you started making music in the first place. Creating a ghost band taught me something totally unexpected. Even when we believe that we're completely free, our names still carry weight. They come with expectations and responsibilities. And when that weight is all gone, the fear disappears too. Sometimes the truest artistic freedom comes from making something that nobody expects, maybe even something that nobody ever hears. So here's my challenge for you. I'm going to call it the Ghost Band Challenge. Create one song under a new name and work with somebody who shares your curiosity. And then in the comments, tell me what you learned about yourself in the process. I'm Kevin, the founder of Innovaniac Music. We help independent artists grow and get heard and build genuine connections with listeners. And more than half of the people who watch these videos aren't subscribed yet. So if you found something valuable here, take a moment and please subscribe. It helps this creative community grow and it makes sure that you don't miss any future insights. Until the next time, keep dreaming big and creating boldly.